Hello fellow humans and welcome to this week's shop review, and we have a new tank right here and also some good bundles in the shop. Let's have a look. And we start off with the charity bundles, of which 100% of the proceeds will go to United 24 to buy ambulances for Ukraine. And given that this bundle helps getting rid of this genocidal maniac, I'm all for it. The problem with the bundle though, however, even though it has a great cause behind it, is that the Astron Rex is a piece of shit. If you're aware of that and you still want to support the cause, then absolutely buy it. Now, the rest of the bundle is, however, very good. You've got 7.5k gold in here, you've got 30 days of premium, you've got 25 unlocked ×5s that you can use on any tank that you want. So that is a great deal there. Just the Astron Rex, very bad choice here, especially given that something like a T-34 or T-54 were designed by the Ukrainian company. So you could have technically put a T-55A in here, but also a good bundle. It doesn't include a tank, obviously, but very good. Charity cause is always worth it if you care. And then we have the essential bundle here, which at face value sounds like a great deal at first because you get a random tier 10 for 20,000 gold, and then on top you get gambling, you get 3.5 million credits, and you get 30 unlocked ×5. So it sounds like a pretty good deal. However, obviously the problem is you have a very significant risk right here that you end up with a vehicle that you don't want. And basically, obviously, if you already have a lot of these tier 10s, that it can make sense because you will get gold compensation for them. But still, I do not recommend gambling unless you know that either of those vehicles will be fine for you. But outside of that, if you don't care what tier 10 you're going to get, it's a great bundle. If you do care what tier 10s you play, don't get it because you're gambling and you're probably going to lose. And then there is the terrific bundle, which needs an H, and it does include very much the same as the previous one, and now this time you can get between a tier 5 and a tier 10, which is not really a great premise, but the price is sort of worth-ish, but still you're probably going to lose and get a tier 5, so don't gamble. Resources this time are, well, you get ×5 certificates and 10k for this. It's okay to grind a couple of new lines, it works. So if you need it, get it. If you don't. It's not something that's amazing, it's not something that's bad. These capital sources, I mean, they include crates. Crates are pretty much never a great deal, but at least they don't include crates. So if you need a large amount of resources, then this is a pretty good deal here, especially this one. Can recommend that. And then we get to the tanks, and the Su-85I is not worth it at all. I mean, these ×5s even apply to the vehicle, so just ignore this bundle. The Tornwagen Stegosaurus, it's not the greatest of tier 8, but these ×5s are at least unlocked, which means they add some extra value to the bundle. Still, the Tornwagen is not worth this much, and it's certainly not worth 10k on its own. 7.5k, 7k, we can talk about it, but it's more expensive than a T77 and also a lot worse, so not worth it here. If you think it's worth it and you need the 25 ×5s, I would recommend it, but I'm not going to stop you either. AMX MLE, it's a solid tank, but there are better vehicles than 20k for it alone. Would have liked to seen it for 17.5 here. Rampant Raiders. Now, these two vehicles, the CS52 is a pretty solid tier 7, but then again, it is a tier 7. Why would you spend money on that? And the Skoda T27 is a vehicle that is very difficult to play. 8.5k. It's only for advanced players, and only if you want the Skoda T27 specifically. It's a armorless autoloader, and the CS52 has been given away for free before, so you're not paying for something that was free. And 047, great bundle, shit tank. This thing is still the same thing, 5k for this vehicle when you can get more premium time, and the tier 8 for just 500 gold more is a pretty bad deal here. And then we have something good down here, the sturdy fellows with the T77 and the Sumo SM. If you don't want the Sumo SM, which is completely understandable, you can get the T77 for 7.5k, which is, I think, a good price for that vehicle. It's much better than the Tornwagen up here. But overall, if you are into the autoloaders, if you are into heavy tanks, this is a good bundle to pick up. And in terms of open crates, otherwise also known as draws, we this time have the Pharaoh, and I recommend the same as I do with every single one of these draws. The first one or two tend to still be a good return for what you're getting, except when you get a camouflage that's not even worth 20 gold, to me at least. Open the second one because it's still going to be somewhat worth it, but then after that you got to stop because 50k for 50 gold, not too bad, but after that, it gets bad. The Witch's Curse event is now starting, and once again, you have to collect objects to progress in the event. You can get premium time, boosters, and pointless accessories, and a vehicle as well. It works like pretty much any event. If you complete the missions, you earn the object. And with that, you can then complete the event, which gives you a chance at the Forest Witch, a tier 7 auto reloader, and also camouflages and attachments, which luckily you can sell the avatars for 3,000 free XP, which is a great thing to have because otherwise they're pretty useless. And you can also have containers here with a 5% drop chance. There we go with the new tank, the Forest Witch, which is not combat ready because one of the guns is broken, yet it's sent into combat anyway with a 4-shot auto reloader with 240 alpha damage. Not that great actually, only 6 degrees of gun depression. Effective power to weight ratio of what you expect from a super heavy type of vehicle, and well, armor that's not super heavy. However, the gun does hold up quite well, but unfortunately, obviously, if you shoot the last shell, then your reload is going to be 18 seconds. So it's a cuck shell, as on most auto reloaders, where the last shell is simply unusable unless you have the time to sit there for 35 seconds and reload your entire clip. Now, the thing is, with this tank, somehow the gun barrel is floating in the air, even though it's broken. But you can only use one of the guns, so imagine what could happen if the other one was actually functional. Would you have an 8-shot auto reloader? Well, let's not give wargaming ideas here, shall we? But basically, it's a vehicle that, if you can get for free, can be a lot of fun to play, especially because it's 4-shot 240. I mean, you can clip a lot of tier 6s in one go with that, given you then have to have the massive penalty of the long reload on the 4th shell. But ideally, you want to fire the first one all the time. But if you want to clip a tier 6, go ahead and do it because it's fun. And it is kind of a fun vehicle. It's pretty slow and doesn't really have that much armor, so be careful with where you position this thing. But overall, it is a tank that can be pretty fun if you get it for free. But obviously, if you have no time or no chance to complete the event to get to the vehicle, then there is absolutely no reason to actually spend any gold to finish off and get the vehicle, unless it's like 200, 300 gold, then sure. But outside of that, it's collector value at best if you can get it free. That's a very nice thing to have. Maybe they ever fix the second broken gun, which let's hope not, because that would be quite the pain for tier 7s, and they already have to deal with the Smasher. And obviously, it's nowhere near the level of a Smasher, which is a great thing because that was a mistake. So it's a very average vehicle that does work well. It's not worth a single penny, pretty much, unless you're looking for the collector of value. But as a vehicle to play, it can be quite entertaining. So overall, get it, don't get it, I don't know. Depends on how much time you have. Should you get out of your way to get it? Not really. If you can get it on your own, organically, get it. If you don't, don't.